So the last time, actually the very first time I came here with you guys, remember? None of this was in bloom. And we went, my goal, it was raining that day, was to get up to that tower. And you can see right now, there's work trucks there, if you can see that. They're building more of those fake rocks. So I've gone all over, and I mean, every mountain in this area is covered. We went up there last week, over here, but I wanted to go back up to the top, this very first place I came. So pretty. You know, it's funny that I live in Canyon Lake, and this is like, I guess you would call it Lake Elsinore area. And I come from Temecula, originally from this area. That's where we lived. My daughter lives there. And there is none of this there. It's only, and I said to Licia, wow, I just went there and I said, I thought we could go, you know, hiking through the flower covered hills. And she's like, no, it's only Elsinore, Canyon Lake area. And I mean, it's all the way up from here. It goes, I mean, it's just crazy. It's so beautiful, and it's so funny how people, I know a lot of people are excited about it, but a lot of people are just surprised that we care. But it's just that it's been such a long time since this happened, and it used to be that we would buy the wildflower seeds, and this is what they were. When I was a little girl living in San Diego County, if you had property that you didn't want to mow, you'd throw this out and it would just take off, right? It was just beautiful. We've gone through many seasons of droughts, and I guess 7 years it's been since we've had this, so it's pretty beautiful. So I was up there. I think that's where I want to go. So here's my sage. There was something I wanted to talk to you guys about, and it's in regards to, as you reawaken, your life starts changing in a lot of different ways. Your friends start changing because you may not understand it, but your likes and dislikes begin to change, and you begin to change in ways that other people find threatening or confusing. Things that you used to find appealing, you no longer do. And I told you when I began my spiritual journey, I had already started to reawaken. And I moved to Wisconsin from California, and I had been going through about probably 5 years of changing. And my ex, that was my really good friend, he was like, you know, fun anymore? You don't like to go out and party? You don't like to get stoned? You're boring. And I didn't think I was boring. I was studying, I was learning, and I don't know, that whole scene was just like, to me, all of a sudden, it just felt really childish, you know? Been there, done that. And my response was, I don't want to be that girl that turns into that woman, that turns into that person is still here at the bar, you know? It's different if you go every once in a while to go dancing and have a drink and socialize, but you know what I'm talking about. It was every day. It was at least 3 to 5 times a week we would go. That's just what we did. That's where we hung out. And it was like, it's time to grow up, you know? And he said, if that's what growing up is, I don't want it. And I love these little daisies. They're so happy. So I went to Wisconsin, and I got involved in a very small town with the music community. I love to sing, and my friends were all musicians, and it was a beautiful place. I met my soul family, and yet I started getting really, really wrapped up in the music, writing songs and singing, and Spirit said, you're getting off of your path. God, that's beautiful. This is what I was looking for. I wanted that, the Daisies. And they sent me to Sedona. And I was told to go to Arizona. I knew I was being sent away, and I didn't want to go. I fought it. I thought I liked somebody there in the town, and even though I was friends with the family, the person was always traveling, you know, somewhere else, and they were just coming back from having been somewhere else traveling, and I didn't want to leave. And Spirit gave me instructions about what I was supposed to do that night when I was supposed to say goodbye. I was supposed to say something to this person that was really embarrassing. I was supposed to do something and say something. And I thought, I can't do that. There's no way. I'm not doing that. And so I did an altered version of what I was asked to do. And it didn't go very well. And sometimes I wondered later if I had done what I was supposed to do, the way I was supposed to do it, what I was shown, what would have happened. But I didn't. So I went to leave, and having gone sideways, and Spirit said, so I was mad. It didn't go the way, I was embarrassed, and I felt stupid, and I was angry that Spirit made me do it. And I stormed out of there. It was like 2:30 in the morning. I was leaving the next morning to go to Sedona, and I heard, go back. And I'm like, no. I was literally crying. I was so embarrassed. And I said, no, I'm not going back. And it's funny because it's it's a small town with one main street. And this festival that was going on at the time was called Dark Songs. And everyone was there, right? They were at the festival, and I had left, and it was, like I said, it was in the middle of the night. Isn't this incredible? I'm really, really enjoying. Oh my gosh, is that another black butterfly? It is. Unbelievable. See? The black butterflies. Can you stop for a minute so we can get a picture of you? Can you stop? Yeah, just stop. There you go. You're brown. You're brown. Okay, dark brown, not black. So I'm walking along the street having this very upset conversation with Spirit, because I get audio messages, right? I'm looking down. You guys don't need to look down, but I'm looking down because I don't want to step on the flowers. I'm trying to step in between them. And I'm being told, go back. And I'm arguing and saying, no, I'm not going back. I can't believe you made me do that. That was a disaster. I'm humiliated, right? And they're saying to me, no doubt, you didn't do what you were told to do. You didn't do what you were asked to do. Finish it. Go back and take care of it. Say what you need to say. There's that song, say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Who sings that? John Mayer? So I argued for a little bit of time. I love the yellow over there, right? And then I decided, all right, fine. I'll go back, because it was very insistent. And what was interesting to me is I should have been kind of nervous, like that I was hearing that, because I don't think up until that time I had actually had audio messages. But I was so in the moment, so connected with what was happening, that it didn't surprise me. That didn't surprise me. It should have, right? This is the first time that actually it's the second time that I had heard Spirit speak to me. I heard Spirit one more time. Before that, it was Archangel Michael, and I just thought it was because I was in this really dire circumstance, and he showed up to help. And this, I was just walking down the street at 12:30 at night. It was raining. So anyway, I go back, right? I decide, all right, I'm going to listen. Fine. You should have heard me. If the people in town were looking out the window, and I'm sure people could hear me, because I had an apartment, actually where I was walking to was on that road, that lane, one street, And I used to hear people in the street below me. So I'm sure somebody heard me arguing with myself, thinking, okay, she's crazy. We thought she was crazy. Now we know she is. And I went back in. And I didn't think about it until, gosh, I can't tell you how much later. But I had dreamed the entire scenario previously, months before, about what I was going to do, what I was going to say, what the place looked like, everything. I saw it all before. It wasn't deja vu because I write my dreams down. The dream was written. And so whether it was my higher self or spirit showing me, because I do have prophetic dreams, right? A preview of what was to come, or yeah, I think that's more of what it was, because it wasn't something I wanted to do. So it wasn't like I was manifesting it, because, I mean, I had asked for this discussion. And it's funny because today I kept getting from Spirit, you need to make a move, Aries. And I said, hell no. That is not going to happen. You need to. The person that you're connected to doesn't know how you really feel. And I'm like, you know what? The whole freaking world knows how I feel. And I'm not making a move. I've done enough. It's time now for that one to make the move. So I go in, and it's a bar, right? And you have to walk in and you drop down into it's like an step down into this bar. And the person that I was meant to speak to, I had this disaster, right? I had already done the opposite of what I was told to do. And I tried to finish it, and it didn't go well. So I had left. So now I got to go back and face him and say what I was supposed to say. And I'm just like, fuck. So I guess because I was just so angry, it was easier for me to accomplish my goal. So I stalked into this bar, literally stalked. I mean, if they thought I was a stalker before, this verified it, you know? Which really sucked because I had been following Spirit's direction the whole time. I'm not a stalker, but that sure felt like it, you know? So I step into this bar, and the second I step in, I love that. I just need to take a couple stills because I need pictures of this. This is just too amazing. So I step into the bar, and his back is to me, and he's standing there next to his friend, another musician. And as soon as I stepped in, he felt my energy and he turned around. And I pointed at him like, I need to talk to you. And the look on his face was abject terror, right? Oh God, she's coming. What is she going to do? What is she going to say? So I stalked up to him and I told him I knew who he was. I literally put my hand on his chest. I did what Spirit asked me to do. And I said it. I said, I know who you are. And he said, okay. And I said, again, I know who you are. I love you. And he said, okay. Eyes the size of flying saucers, right? And then one last time, I don't know why. I just went with my body, right? I just went with what my higher self was telling me to do. And I put my hands. This is a different flower. Look at that. Like a honeysuckle. Pretty. I'm going to take one and see if it is. Oh, it is. Okay, what you do is you pull this out and you suck the honey out. Oh my gosh, it's really sweet. So, the last time I put my hand on his chest, I said, I know who you are and I love you. And he said, okay, have a safe flight. And I said, there's a butterfly, fuck off. And I left. I was really mad. I did what I was supposed to do. I said what I was supposed to say. And I was angry that I felt like a fool for doing it. Anyway, I accomplished the goal. Shoot, there's people up here. What a bummer. I'll have to be over on this side. So, what I'm talking about is, as we ascend, things change. We start hearing Spirit. we start looking at things differently. We start being asked to change things in our life. We're asked to address things, right? Clear things away. As I said, I didn't want to leave there. But Spirit basically told me that I wasn't doing my work. Oh gosh, you guys, I don't know if you can see the blue going through there. There's a lot of silvery blue going through the center. Gosh, I'm glad I came back up here. I like it here. I know where to go. Let's go back to what I love. So, when we do things like that, like what I just did, right? That scared him. He wasn't awake. And the thing is about it, he was semi-awake. He knew who he was to me. We were definitely connected energetically, right? He was part of my soul tribe. But he was worried about anyone in that town knowing his spiritual beliefs. Just fear-based energy, you know? And I think we should do it right here. Let's look over here real quick, and then we're going to come back here and do our reading. So the guy next to him was his friend, right? And I knew him just a little bit, not very well. And when I walked up, he looked at this person like, oh God, here she is. And I looked at him and I said, can you excuse us, please? And he said, absolutely. But I know he thought I was a nut, right? And they're all together part of the same music community. So I know a lot of people were talking about me, right? And he didn't want anyone to understand or realize, wow, it's pretty down here, that this was his belief too. And he understood what I was talking about. He just didn't want to go there. He just wasn't ready to open up. And I was actually sent there to open up that little town and reactivate him. That's literally what I was told I was supposed to do. And it's, we all have free will. We can choose to accept our assignment or not, right? I didn't want to do it, but I did it. And he chose to shut down. So I left and I moved to Sedona. And I was really sad because for the first time in many, many years, I felt like I belonged. I felt like I had found a family, but I had found the music family, not my spiritual soul family. I do have a soul family there. My Mama Sherry, my Papa Terry, my Uncle Phil, all of them. Absolutely. Auntie Beth, Alexa, Dennis, absolutely my soul family. I must have incarnated there originally somehow. But other than that, it was time to go out and do my work because I was manifesting, but I was manifesting for that friend of mine who was the musician. I was making things happen for him music-wise. And Spirit said, that's not your job. That's not your work. But you can give him a message, and the message that you need to deliver. And I didn't deliver the message until a few years later. Maybe a couple years later, I went back from Sedona. And I said, I need to tell you something. It was an alert, right? That's what it was. It was an alert. It was, you need to pay attention to this. You need to hear me. And he said, okay. And I said, because he'd been struggling. Extremely talented musician. Amazing. Gifted like I can't tell you. Also a spiritual person. But his gift was not supposed to be just doing the music. He was supposed to use his music and do his spiritual work. And he does in a way, because I heard the messages in his songs. He didn't hear them, or he pretended not to. I told him, this is a story. All 4 of these songs go together. They make up a story. And he argued with me, got really mad at me actually, and said, I think I would know. I'm the artist, I wrote it. And I said, you might have written down the words with your hand, but you were inspired by God. This is a twin soul story, period. I was very aggressive. And so I said, I have a message to deliver for you. That's it. You can take it or leave it. At this point, I didn't care, right? I was just done. I'm delivering a message. And the message is, you've not been successful at all since you've come back here because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And Spirit wants you to come out in your own town. Now, this can apply to any of you that are reawakening. Coming out in what way? You can come out sexually. You can come out in your spiritual beliefs. You can come out authentically, truthfully as the person that you are and not the person that you're trying to be to make everyone else happy or to fit in, right? So he was told he needed to come out in that town as he was. And if he was to do that and stand up, he was also supposed to heal issues with his family. And there were issues between him and his father, and I was very close to his father and mother. And I'm sure that made him probably upset to think that, you know, I'm so close to this person that he had such difficulty with. But he's not the same person. It had been 20 years, you know. People hold a grudge for a long time, and childhood issues need to be resolved. They need to be looked at and realized, you know what, I'm not the person I was then, just like you're not the person you were then. And you can only say you're sorry so many times. And I said, once you do come out as you truthfully, authentically are, you will be successful. Spirit will make certain that you will be successful. I said, that's it. And he goes, okay, thanks. I mean, he was always very polite. You know, he was never rude to me. He's a very nice person. Very gentle, kind of shy person. But I seem to draw that to me. And poor guy was no doubt terrified. Well, he was. His mom said, you know, dogs chase cars all the time, but when the car stops, they don't know what to do with the car. And he says, you're the car. Or she says, you're the car. He chased you until you stopped, and then he lost his mind. Post-traumatic stress, right? So the point I'm making, that's just one story that you guys can get a bunch of different messages out of. Hi, little lizard man. Hi, little lizard man. I don't know where I want to read. I keep saying here, and then I keep moving to another spot. But this is pretty freaking cool. Can we go back up there? No. So people are going to think that you have changed, because you have. Your likes are changing. What you're attracted to changes. You might have really enjoyed some activities at one time, and it no longer holds that excitement for you. And you may realize, like I did, and it's interesting because they might think that, you know, you're a snob, like my ex did, right? Thought I was boring, thought I was being a snob, thought I was looking down my nose at him. I wasn't. But I will tell you that all I can think about is when I'm talking to people like that don't understand that they are still living the life of a teenager, sleepwalkers, right? And so that maybe that does come across as, you know, judgmental or arrogant or whatever. I cared about the, you know, very good, nice person. I still think a very nice person, but a very, very different choice of a lifestyle and reasons why. And so you'll find yourself one by one, your friends will start falling away. Now, sometimes you don't want to let go. I did this too. I held on with both hands to my friends that were slipping away, and I didn't understand why it was happening. It didn't make sense to me. It felt really, really bad. What's wrong? Like, and it was like, it wasn't like we had fights, you know, it was like, and spiritual people will tell you this, it happens all the time. It's lined up by spirit, because what will happen is you'll go to make arrangements with somebody and they'll just miss your call. Oh, I was just there. Or somebody will just walk out the door and you've just missed them. You just don't line up anymore. And then after that happens for a long enough period of time, you realize, you know what? They're not calling back. You're not calling them back. And there's a reason. And you're not quite understanding. Sometimes there's hurt feelings, right? Not understanding why. And I've been getting a lot of messages, private messages from people about this. Clients talking about, you know, I used to have 20 friends, now I've got one. And I said, it's happening on purpose, and I know it's difficult, but it's preparing you. You're basically somewhat going into hermit mode. Well, you are. You're going into hermit mode, isolation mode, where you are going to, I love that purple. You're going to start getting downloads from spirit, and you may not even understand that you're getting them. Like, I used to go to Sedona and get downloads like crazy, and I had no idea I was being downloaded until I got back to California and all the epiphanies started coming. All I knew was that I wasn't able to sleep at all. And I don't know if it's just me, I don't think it is, but for some reason I can't be asleep. I think I know why. I can't be sleeping when I'm getting downloads. I have to be awake. Because I have very lucid dreams, and I have prophetic dreams. I have working dreams. So if I was getting downloaded, I would get involved in it. I would try and figure out what was going on. I would try and go places. I would try and, you know, control it. And spirit doesn't want us to control this. This is not something that we are to control. This is something that we are to allow. So, gosh, if I can get up here, this is the spot. I could if I didn't have my stinking phone in my hand. Gosh, there's fur on top of that rock. An animal was brought up there and eaten. Can you see it? Dang, dude. I'm gonna try and figure out how to get up there. So we're not supposed to control it. So it's kind of like when I went to Sedona. When I did get there, I was met by my friend Joseph White Wolf, who's a shaman, very, very amazing spiritual person. That was somebody that Spirit absolutely wanted me to connect with, and they had connected me with him 3 years before. He connected to me on Facebook, and I'm very, very loyal. I don't speak to other men when I'm interested in somebody, and I had my mind on someone. Hold on, I gotta put you down. Put you down this way. And so he wrote to me, and he said, he made a kind of a strange statement, I thought. He said, "You will soon walk the sacred grounds of Sedona. And if you're ever here and you need my help or assistance in any way, please let me know," right? That was 3 years before. Bunny rabbit. Wow. So, this is where we're going to do our reading, me and the rabbit. So, when I got to Sedona, right before I went, when I realized I was going, no! Oh, I almost lost my water bottle, sorry. When I realized I was leaving, I emailed him, and I said, "I think you remember me, you know, you contacted me a few years ago when I was first awakening, and I am actually supposed to be heading to Arizona. I don't want to go to Phoenix. Sedona sounds more like my speed." And I was wondering, and he said, "It's amazing how Spirit works, because I have been offline since I wrote to you for the last 3 years. Oh, my red hawk is right there. I've been seeing her all day, and I've been trying to get pictures of her. Oh my gosh, this is probably where she roosts. Yes, she does, because she's me. I hope I didn't zoom in so much that you can't see her." So he says, and I had been considering taking a shamanic course, you know, for the animal messengers. While I was in Sturgeon Bay, I was going to sign up with this guy that was in, Sedona, but it was like a $3,000 course, right? And so I told him that, and he said, "You know I'm a shaman, right?" He says, I'll work with you for free." And I'm like, oh my God. And I'd already been shown by Spirit not to pay, like something was coming, right? So this is just another message. When Spirit says something's going to come, and you think you're going to miss an opportunity, because the man kept writing to me and saying, you know, there's only one spot left, and you don't have much time to get in on this, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And Spirit was saying, don't pay, something's coming. And so I didn't. And there it was. So I get to Sedona, and I've spoken a lot of times with you guys about how Spirit isolated me. And I was isolated for 6 months. I mean isolated. Joseph dropped off the planet. He started doing his work. He wasn't around. He was just supposed to be there to welcome me and get me in there. And then as soon as he did that, his work was done, right? I was supposed to do my work. And 6 months of isolation. And I didn't like it. I told you, I didn't like it when I lost my friends. I didn't like it when everything started changing for me and I didn't understand why. I didn't like it when Spirit told me to do things and I did it and it was embarrassing and it didn't work the way I thought it was supposed to work. I will tell you the truth. I thought that the person that I had connected with in Wisconsin, because I had spiritual experiences when I connected with him, I thought that that person, and I kept saying that a twin soul was coming to me, right? I kept getting a twin soul is coming, and I thought it was him. I did. And and it was interesting because there's false twins and there's true twins. And I'm not hung up on it. I really am not. I would have preferred not to have had a twin soul relationship. Believe me, it's not fun. But even I came outside of his gig and there was a car sitting there with a license plate and it said first twin. And I at the time thought, you know, it was just more confirmation that yes, that was my twin, my spiritual twin, right? And I was the second twin is what I thought. Until I finished, I was in Sedona, 6 months, and I finally decided, you know, I've been going through this for the last, 4 years with this person. It's never going anywhere. I'm done. And I said to Spirit, it was like, what was it? New Year's? And I said, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And I can't be isolated anymore. This is enough. I can't do this. I mean, you've taken a social butterfly out of California and you've put me in a one-horse town. And, you know, I adjusted to that, which was really hard. And then I finally get to the place where I'm comfortable with people there. And then you yank me out and isolate me in a place up close to the mountains with no car, you know, and I'm done. I can't do this anymore. This is enough. And bring me a soulmate. I can't freaking stand it. And so they did. They brought me my upstairs neighbor, John. And right that next day, my landlord said, hey, I'm renting the studio upstairs. I think you'll like it. I said, who is it? And he says, I think you'll like him. He's kind of a yoga guy. He likes to hike, kind of likes the same kind of stuff as you. I mean, Spirit absolutely lined it up. It was a lesson for him. It was a lesson for me. We were friends, but it was tough because he had spent 2.5 years in Nepal in the caves, not speaking, no sound. 2.5 years with the monks. And then he gets who? Me? Chatty Cathy, right? And it was torture for him and torture for me. Even though I learned a lot from him, and in the end, he learned a lot from me too. So Spirit knew what they were doing. So you may be thrown into situations like that and you don't understand why. Why have I connected with this person? This is a nightmare that we fight. This is arguing, but you're learning things and you don't realize. So we stopped talking because we got into a fight and it was just ridiculous. And right at that time, my twin soul, my real twin soul, connected with me. Someone I'd known for many, 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 many years that I had always, he stole my heart the second I saw him. But I never thought, he'd been in and out of my life so many times, which is the story of the twin souls, right? That's what they do. They torture each other. Well, the divine masculine has tortured the divine feminine for many years, and now the divine feminine's pretty much just sick of it, and so the divine masculine, I think, might be getting tortured at this point. But there he was, and I moved back to California shortly afterwards, and I thought we were going to reconnect, and we didn't for 2 years. 2 years. But then we did, and, everything, I'm going on about all these weird things, but it happens. It's not just happening to me, it's happening to a lot of people. And he was in the same, it was bizarre, because when he connected with me, I saw this face on my LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is just like Facebook. You have to add somebody. They can't just become one of your people. You have to add them. But Spirit can make things happen, and they did. All of a sudden, this guy, he's on my list, and I'm like, who is that? I didn't add him. Like, who is that guy? And he was very handsome, and his name, he said he was from Los Angeles, and I thought, Los Angeles, and I kept saying the name over and over in my head. Who is this? Who is this? And then it clicked in my head. It was the formal, his name was the formal version of this person that I know. His name, you have nicknames from your regular name. So like if your name is Robert, this guy would be like Bob, right? So I wrote to him and I said, do I know you from Temecula? And he said, yes, you do, laugh out loud. And I'm like, oh my God, it's him. And every time I saw him, every time we would reconnect, that would be the experience. Oh my God, it's him. And he says, wow, a Reiki master, I didn't know this about you. He goes, I've had my awakening too. Third eye, pineal gland, it's a whole bit. And I'm just like, and he says, I'm still a new age hippie. Hope your blessings. And I'm just like, oh my God. This one that it always stole my heart, right? He's had an awakening? Like, what? And so, and that's when the twins, I had been told, your twin is coming, right? And I just got it wrong. My question to the universe is, why is it that the twins, the females, reawaken and acknowledge and understand it before the males? Not only do we reawaken and understand it before the men, but we're ready before them. Frustrates the hell out of me. I guess it's like payback for all the times in your life that a guy's been ready to go dancing and the girl's taking forever getting her hair done. I don't know. I can't figure out why. But anyway, it was nice to know that here was somebody else like me, right? Because there was nobody like me. And then all of a sudden here he was. And so while you're going through this, it's going to be freaking tough. It's going to suck. It's going to feel bad. You're not going to like losing your friends. Some of your friends will come along with you on your journey, maybe in just like a cursory type way, like, outskirts. Some may reawaken with you, may listen and wake up and come along. But you will find soul family, and you're being encouraged to not be an island. And see, when I reconnected with my twin and I realized who he was, I'm so freaking loyal. I was torn. I didn't know what to do, because at first I didn't know who was the real twin, him or the other one. And even though I'd always loved this one that just had found me, I felt that I had a spiritual connection to the other one, and I felt like it was my duty or my job to, and then I said, I can't do this. I can't. I love him. I've always loved him. And so we moved forward with it. But it was a nightmare again. That he wasn't ready, right? In and out, in and out. And so because of that, because of my loyalty, I isolated myself. And I continued. It's also just my higher self's way of teaching me to learn how to be happy on my own. I never could really be that way. You know those people that are always having to date somebody? They can never be alone. They get out of one relationship and they're in another one after another, right? You have to learn how to be on your own. You have to learn how to love yourself and be self-sufficient, and then you're ready, right? So this whole thing was all about, if you're going through this, do understand that at first it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. It's not fun. And you're not the only one that it's happening to. It's happened to a lot of people. So here is one of the reasons why I'm here, and why I'm a spiritual teacher, and why I run my page, and why I speak to the people the way I do, because I'm a way shower. And there's several of us. We're like beacons, right? And we're here to show you what we've been through and help you so that you don't have to go through it alone. And that's why I do the soul family meetups, right? There's so many are like little satellites everywhere, and the way we can come together and support each other, we can do that on Facebook. It's funny because my spiritual twin, I said something about, I don't say your name and on Facebook, and he says, why would you even say that? I hate that. And he swore, and he says, it's the downfall of our culture, and it's mind-sucking, and it can be, and it is, right? And I said, I understand that. I said, but I'm being asked to use it to reach as many people as I can for my spiritual work, and to show people that they're not alone out there, right? So that's why I do what I do, so that you don't have to feel that you're by yourself. I've got soul family all over the country, and maybe I can't be in your physical presence, but I'm just a click away, right? When you start feeling these symptoms of ascension, and they affect your body too. It feels like depression, it feels like sadness, you're tired a lot, your body starts to ache, you might gain weight, you might, all kinds of, I've got something weird going on my thumb. It's called a ganglion cyst. See it on my thumb? It's just fluid that escapes from the knuckle, and it pools into this little lump, and it comes and goes, and it's been happening, and it's weird, and I'm like, what the hell? So I looked up in Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, Louise Hay. It's all about, every physical manifestation has an emotional root cause, and this is talking about replaying the past, replaying the same sad story, and once you stop replaying the sad story and you're able to move forward and release it, it'll dissipate. And so I'm like, okay, what's the sad story that I keep replaying? Well, clearly it's my twin soul story, because it is sad, and it's been going on for so many years, and it leaves me an island and isolated and lonely, and I fucking hate it. I hate it with everything in me. And the only way you can stop playing it is to walk away from it, and I can't walk away from it. So I just have to live with this little lump until my twin soul reawakens to the point where he feels that I'm ready for him. Because what's funny is, he asked me, he said to me, are you my twin soul? And I said no. I was mad. I was mad at my own body, the way my body started to vibrate. I felt like my body was betraying me. It was disloyal to the one that I thought was my twin. It wasn't that I was in love with the other person. I wasn't. He was more like a friend to me, like a family, like my family member, right? That's what he was, like a brother, kind of, or like an annoying cousin. And I said no, because I felt like that was my duty, my spiritual duty. And I had been asked if I would accept this assignment, and I said yes. So he was mad, and he says, you're not ready. Go out, go do your work, go figure it out. And when he comes to you, don't push away what your soul's been longing for. And I said, he'll know me. I won't have to, look for him. He'll know me. And he said, he does know you, mind, body, and soul. And I said, oh, and I suppose you think it's you. And he says, I know it's me. And I thought, okay, so smarty pants, if you know it's you, where the hell have you been for the last 6 years? Right? So I finally get to the place where I realize I absolutely know in no uncertain terms. It didn't take me long to figure it out, that it was definitely him. But something happened, right? And so I'm going to leave it at that. There's a lot of information in this. You guys can figure out what it means for you, and I'm going to start our reading. But I can't do the reading on top of this, I don't think. 32 minutes in. Maybe I can. Maybe I will. I will. I'll just knock it in. All right, so we're going to do our work with the Shapeshifters. I felt like I saw a message in my mind's eye, or maybe in my dreams this morning. I don't remember, but it showed me, and I keep getting a message right now, and I don't know if it's going to come out or if I'm just supposed to give it to you. I think I'm supposed to just give it to you. So the choices that you can choose from are going to be this mountain. Actually, let's do colors. Orange, purple, yellow, or blue. I like that. Orange, poppies. The purple, Statice. The yellow, daisies. Or the blue, sky. I can't believe that I'm literally sitting on the altar of my red hawk, and there's entrails of this bunny everywhere. Yuck. So it looks like I've consumed a bunny, right? Because I am the red hawk and she showed up when I got here. All right, so we're gonna start with the orange poppies. For those who chose the orange poppies, what is the message, Spirit, that is most applicable, most helpful for the next week? In the next week, we're just going a week ahead. Correct neutrality on all levels. For the next week, I'll let you guys see me drop it. Bats in the Belfry. Oh, I'm laughing at this. Because I lived in a Victorian house in Sturgeon Bay. Remember I told you that house? I said when I walked down that street, and I said I could hear the people outside. I lived in a Victorian apartment above what used to be the old drugstore. Looked like this. And I used to sit up there on the roof, and what would come to me out there were bats. I loved them. They were so stinking cute. And this is talking about what people say about you. Remember I said that the person there didn't want to admit or let anyone know that he was like me, right? There's an English saying, oh, she's got bats in her belfry. That means you're crazy. And look at, there I am. That's my hair color. There's my blue eyes, and I'm up there on top of that roof with the bats all around me. And people think you're a nut, right? I don't want to lose this card. I'm trying to stretch at the same time. Let's see, how can I do this? I'm wearing different hikers today, so I can't put it in my toe the way I used to. I guess we'll just have to hold it between my knees. So you can achieve great things. The number is 7. Remember, 7 is, if you stay on your spiritually illuminated path, you will exceed. Your expectations will be exceeding what you believe that you can do. So this is telling you that you're capable of amazing things. Other people might think you're crazy. That's even how I would dress. I had these high chunky shoes. This is funny. And the night that I left there, it was dark songs, right? And people dressed up. It was like Halloween. I think that's hysterical that this comes up. So you can do amazing things. People might be thinking you're a nut. And what's interesting, you think about bats, they hang upside down, right? So there's going to be aspects of your life that are going to feel upside down. But Spirit is going to help you learn how to hang upside down, because the upside down symbol is like the hanged man, right? The hanged man or the hanged woman. Well, the hanged man isn't just hanging around doing nothing. They're thinking. They're in introspection, right? It's like a period of deep thinking and exploration. So Spirit's going to teach you how to do this in this downtime. And they're going to show you how your gifts are able to help you. You think about bats, they have that sonar ability, right? They're very gifted. They have radar. And you're going to be able to hear things the way bats hear things. You're going to be able to see things in the darkness. They're going to teach you how to be more courageous. Use your imagination, even when you're misunderstood, because people are saying you're a freaking nut. You got bats in your belfry, right? People are going to think you're crazy. A lot of times, people that have been reawakened I keep thinking of the song, All My Friends Are Heathens, Take It Slow, right? That one line that says, we're a room filled with people who had people they loved once locked away. And they lock them away because they think they're crazy. They don't understand why they're talking the way they are, why their life is changing the way they are, why they're saying they're seeing spirits, talking to spirits. My daughter thought I needed psychiatric help, right? So they may literally think that you have lost your mind. And at times you might feel like that too, because you don't even know what's going on, right? Things are changing so quickly. But this is showing you that you've gone beyond that. Now, I never went through the stage where I thought I was losing my cool. I did lose my cool. I didn't think I was losing my mind. I knew Spirit was speaking to me. I saw Spirit. I was doing what I was asked to do, right? I was totally comfortable in this. I knew what people were saying, but I didn't have a problem, and I actually have that issue in me. It's probably an Aries thing. If you tell me I can't do it, I'll show you I can, right? So this is basically that you've gotten to the place where you know you can. You have shown others that you were able to do what they didn't think that you could do. And you've been showing the fact that the things that have been happening in your life that people can't explain, that you even couldn't explain, these little mini miracles, are because you were brave and courageous, and you did listen to spirit, and you didn't become afraid and pull back because of the fear of what others thought. Now, we don't want you to lose your cool and think you're higher than everyone else, right? Because we don't want to come from a place of arrogance, but you do want to accept your gifts and tell yourself, I have no limits. I will achieve great things. I can bring anything into being that I wish to bring into being. I have, and I will continue to. Watch me. I'm seeing this, and it's been driving me crazy for the last 7 years. The Eiffel Tower. I don't know what it means, and it drives me nuts. I know it's the city of light. I know it's the city of love. To me, I'm thinking, I mean, when my mother first showed up to me after she died, we were in Paris, and it always goes back to Paris. Everywhere I go, I see the Eiffel Tower. Everywhere, all the time. I've dreamed about it. I see it, and I know that it's a beacon, right? It's a transmitter. It's a lightning rod, and so we are meant to be the beacon and just shine out our love. So maybe it's that, but I feel like there's something deeper. And when I find out, I'm probably going to be annoyed because I already think I know what it is, but a lot of times I thought I knew what things were and I was a little off. So I have to wait and see. And as an Aries, it's annoying for me to wait. So now we go to the purple flowers. I didn't choose the white or the blue babies, what is that? Lobelia and the wild lupin, because there wasn't as much as the purple. And I was very excited about the fact that the daisies had opened, because they hadn't opened a little while ago. And the daisies are the Aries flower. I don't know if you guys know that. It's actually the Aries flower. Very happy, optimistic, the color yellow, solar plexus, you know, forward movement. Wow, I keep seeing this message, you guys. Somebody's going to get it, or I'm just going to have to pull it out. Correct for neutrality on all levels for those who chose the purple spiritual flowers. Oh my God. How many times do we have to get this same story? This is bizarre. Probably because we keep telling the same story over and over. Okay, here we are again. Alice in the Sea of Tears. You're feeling abandoned. You're feeling like, where the hell is everybody? Right? These tears you have cried yourself. Remember, Spirit said this is going to disappear when I stop telling the same sad story over and over again? Feeling like you're alone? You're out in your depth? I've been hearing a song lately, and I don't know what the name of it is, and I probably won't get the words right. But the song says, it's the guy, actually it's a girl that's singing, but it's obviously written by a man. And what was being said is, stop your crying. It's going to be fine. I'm going to be there. It's going to work out. Just dry your tears. You know what's going on. And I can't help but think it's my twin soul, his higher self. It may not be his physical self, but his highest self, literally telling me that. You know who we are. You know what is going to play out. You've already seen it. So stop stressing about it. Stop crying about it. Let it go. Enjoy yourself. Have fun when you're out there hiking in the hills. Be excited when the daisies show up for you. And remember to keep your eyes focused on the divine masculine, right? Keep your eyes on me, babe. I'm trying to pull you through. Put your hand up on the glass. I kind of got that feeling. So I had somebody come to me that was a Cancer, that was trying to say bad things about my spiritual twin. And it made me very angry. And he basically made comments about my twin like he was a dirty rat. Rats aren't dirty. They're very clean and they're very smart. And you're a bottom feeder. Now, I'm going to take away that message and give you a positive message. The crab has a very tough exterior, which kind of speaks about me. I have a tough, strong exterior because I've had to, right? I was pretty much alone as a kid, and my mom wasn't around. I didn't have a dad until I was older, and then I'd been through a lot of really difficult things, and so I ended up having to raise my kids on my own. I needed to be tough. I needed to be strong, but I'm very sensitive underneath. And you know that inside a crab, the shell is very, very soft, right? So the crab is there to show you. When the rat, remember I said my twin's saying, stop your crying. You know who we are. You know what's going to happen. Stop the tears. It's gonna be fine. It's all gonna work out. You're churning up your emotional waters. But he's not very sensitive. He's kind of crabby, and he's got a tough exterior, and he's not freaking speaking, and he's not showing up. So the crab comes forward to say to this smart rat, you know, there are times that you need to be tough, yes. I've been that way my whole life, but there's also a time that you need to show your softness. You need to express yourself. You need to hold on instead of, you know, taking off. So having both of them, the energies there, the energies of, in our case, the twin souls in us, right? We both have this. I'm tough sometimes, and I need to be more gentle. He's tough sometimes and needs to be more gentle. We can bite. We can pinch. Our words can pinch, right? We're both very smart. We're both very capable. The rat will show you how to chew through any cords that are binding you. But both of these will show this one, whether it be a male or a female, how to get safely back to shore. I think of that song, no matter, though the truth may vary, this ship will carry you safely to shore. They know how to find their way back. And in all reality, you wouldn't be drowning in those tears if you would stop crying about it. So it could be this situation that, I mean, you know what my situation is, I just told you. You, however, could have escaped from a very, very difficult situation that's left you feeling extremely emotional, needing to pull into your shell, feeling very, very tender and bruised and not wanting anyone near you, right? You may be feeling traumatized. You may, as the song, you know, all my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. This is a room filled with people that used to love them or said they loved them, locked them up. We have trust issues. You wonder why, right? I've been hurt by who's supposed to have loved me. So you may have been in a situation such as this. This is emotional fallout from what you have escaped. So now you may be in a new location, right? And the situation doesn't feel any better because you're still dealing with all of this dramatic fallout. So the good thing is, and where you're at right now, and what you have to focus on is you have released. You have gone through that emotional time, and you have released your need to hold on. This crab was holding on. He didn't want to let go. Remember I said, as you awaken, and you don't want to let go of your friends, your old lifestyle. You don't want to let go of the comfort, even though you don't belong there, you don't fit there, and it's actually probably turned very toxic for you. You're still trying to hold on to it, but you finally let go. And here you find yourself in this very frightening place. You're in a new place, but I don't feel comfortable yet, right? And now the sadness is there because it's like, you know, the fight or flight? While you're in the midst of turmoil and battle, you're strong and you're tough because you're in survival mode. But then when you get to a place of safety, everything comes unglued. All the tears start calling, your body starts to shake. It's like war. It's like post-traumatic stress. That's what you're dealing with right now. A lot of people deal with post-traumatic stress, and they deal with post-traumatic stress of awakening fallout. It's what it is. People don't seem to have, I find it odd that others don't talk about this. That, you know, there is post-traumatic stress from Desert Storm. There's post-traumatic stress from Vietnam. But there's post-traumatic stress from reawakening. And it's huge because your entire life is changing. Everything about you is changing, even to yourself. So you're trying to readjust, right? And not to mention, you're now a super sensitive. You may not have been as super sensitive. Now, my spiritual twin, he's always been extremely sensitive. I was always in fight or flight mode. I had my whole life, I was fighting. So I didn't understand how actually sensitive I truly was. A lot of times sensitivity is masked by bravado, right? You put on a tough exterior, but really truthfully inside, you're trying to hide the fact that you don't want people to know that you're frightened. You don't have time to be frightened. You have children to raise. They can't see their mother falling apart. Right? I don't have time. I don't have the luxury of laying in my room and being depressed and crying. I had kids to take care of. So now you've let go. Those pinchers have let go of where you were. And here you are in this emotional water. But now you have the next challenge, and the next challenge is to move, to get out of this. And you can. You think about the rat. The rat is very smart, right? So the rat to me represents the divine masculine. Men know how to compartmentalize. They're really good at that. Women are good multitaskers, right? We can have a million things going at once, and men prefer to compartmentalize. And So the rat's here to show you how to compartmentalize at this time. Yes, this is all going on. Yes, it's very valid. But you know what? If you focus on that, you're going to be overwhelmed. So instead, we're going to break it down into steps. You're going to take it one day at a time. You're going to take some time out. You're going to be in nature. You're going to be out here in order to help yourself heal. You're going to enjoy the beauty of this. You're going to see what messages come to you. You're going to care for your body. And you're just going to take one day at a time, one step at a time. Otherwise, you're going to stay in a state of overwhelm. And that's what the male can teach us. The rat can teach us. And the crab will be there when you need to toughen up a little bit, right? But you will be capable of moving forward. Now, this message is interesting to me because it's the same message ending as what we got with the silver siren. My studio in Sedona, right? I really thought I was going to take that studio. That was where I was going, and it was done. I was going to be there in 2 weeks. And at the last, I realized I wasn't supposed to go. And we got the silver siren, right? And the silver siren said there's this opportunity, and you know, your heart's telling you this isn't right, that you have to say no to it. Even if you feel like you're going to regret it, you have to say no, because it's going to be, the price that you have to pay is going to be greater than, because there's things hidden. It isn't what it seems, right? And so I turned it away. I said no. And I went through that fallout afterwards. Shit, did I make a mistake? I mean, today I woke up and I thought I could still take it. And my daughter goes, what are you, crazy? You can't live in a closet, right? So it's funny because my daughter would have been the one that said, go, but it's like, no, and I already know that, right? So the message is, even if you feel like you have made a mistake by making these choices, you have not. This is your final challenge to get through it. You have not made a mistake. You made the right choice. Whoa, what card is running down the hill? You need some space in a relationship. This might be where you escaped from, right? And this might be why I need to escape. That's funny that went down there. So even if you feel like you've made a mistake, this is confirmation from Spirit that even though, yes, it is challenging, you have not made a mistake. Yes, it's been a huge upheaval, but you did exactly what you were meant to do. And Spirit says you're not going to be alone. Help is on its way, and it's soon going to be with you. Okay? So I send this message out to Kat. All right? All right, so now we're going to go to the yellow daisies. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the yellow daisies, and I did. These aren't as big as the yellow daisies on the other side of the lake. On the other side, they're fat daisies, and they're super cool. They're very, very cheeky. They look like the daisy flowers in Alice in Wonderland. They really do. You could see them with little happy smiley faces. These ones are more like the dusting, right? But they're beautiful too. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Now, for those who chose the daisies. I knew it was this. This was the card. This was the card. And of course it's going to be, it's because it's the one I kept seeing, right? I kept seeing this card over and over, and it would land on the daisies that I chose. So, this is, remember I told you, I think I know what it is, and I'm going to be mad, right? Because it is what I thought all along, but I didn't want to say it because I've thought things before and I've been wrong. Yeah. Well, this is telling you, why is this zoomed in so much? This is the twist in the tail of your life that you were not expecting. Okay, this is a change that you didn't see coming. So I keep thinking that I do know what's going on, right? And in the end, there's something about it that I'm not going to know. And this is kind of when I first got this message and read about this and understood what this was telling us, I was just like, wow. This is one of those times when you look and you think, that's not fair. Like what I was told to do in Wisconsin, right? Go in there and say that to that person and do that. And it was humiliating, and I was forced to do it, and it was a disaster. That wasn't fair. Why did you make me do that, right? I guess they were testing me to see if I would actually follow what I was being guided to do. So this is, when you hear the story about what this twist in the tail is, you may feel this way. Because it's not something that you can prepare for. It's not something that you can stop. It's not something that you can alter. You can think that you're safe. You can think, interesting, look at the fly landing on you. An annoyance. The black Phoebe flycatcher. So, you can prepare all you want. You can learn your spiritual gifts and learn the territory and try and figure out. I mean, I like I said, I have telepathic communications. I have audio, sensory hearing. I have prophetic dreams. I'm able to remote view, not a lot, but I have been able to do it several times. I've got a lot of gifts, and I could try and piece it together, right, and figure this out. But even with all of that, nothing is going to prepare you for this twist. And the thing is, what's so freaky about it is nothing's going to save you from it either. You're going to be faced with some type of revelation, and it's going to surprise you, but it's also going to shock you. And you may have been getting these messages, I have, that the tower is coming for me, and I thought I knew what it was, right? But when you look at these are twins. They don't look alike, do they? But they are twins. They have the same eyes, the same coloring. Why do they look different if they're twins? But they are. It's like they're spiritual twins, right? And remember we talked about Love is Strange, and you saw the monster with the big fangs and the big claws and the delicate little very sensitive girl, right? And you're thinking, how is that a couple? But it is. And the difference is we're drawing you together. Well, these are twins. This is a spiritual twin situation. And they're here to help guide you, because that's what the role of the twins is in this world. The twin soul relationship is a relationship, a union of spirit and of work and service first. That's why we watch and help everybody else get together while we stay apart. We do our work separated. And when we finally get to the place where we've let go of all of our past sadness, right, our sad story, and we release our karma, then we are able to finally come together, and we're given that sacred sensual bliss of reuniting with our twin soul. But until that time, ours is a work of service to help you, to help others understand what they're going through. Now, you're going to get allies, you're going to get strategies, you're going to get information to help you make it through whatever it is that's going to come. But you're about to go into territory that you've never experienced, and you're about to start using your gifts in a way that you never have before. This is actually, not only is this the twist in the tail that you weren't expecting, this is the twist in the tail that you've been waiting for. So this is probably my twin soul connection. This is going to be it. Whatever happens, this is what I've been waiting for since I reincarnated back onto this planet. Now, for you guys, if you're not in a twin soul relationship, it's the same thing that's going on in your life. There could be something that happens to you. There's a car accident that changes the way someone looks or their body. They're not able to walk, or a surgery, something that alters your appearance. Something happens to your family. You find out a double life of a friend. You find out that that is not my brother. That's not my mother. This is my cousin, and my uncle and aunt raised me. All this time I thought those were my real parents. You find out things like that. You find out about the sister or brother that you never knew you had. Whatever this is, you're going to be assisted through whatever happens, but everything that's happening is happening. You're being brought into or faced with something that is supposed to help you with your soul's journey. You will be guided through it, and it's going to be a very great blessing in the end. But damn if I don't know what it is. You know? Okay, so now we go to the blue sky. We got the perfect spot to sit with all this stuff around here. And I hope that I didn't zoom in too much on the Red Hawk so that you guys couldn't see her. I do that a lot, you know, I'll see them riding along the side of the road and I think, okay, well, they're too far away, so I'll just zoom in. And then when I zoom in, I totally don't even get the bird in the viewfinder. And the sun is always in my eyes. If I was with somebody that was an inventor, I know something that could be invented that would make $1 gazillion, and that's something that everybody uses every single day. I'm going to hold it a secret until I figure out who that person is, because I'm telling you, I don't understand why nobody has made it. And it's just real simple. It could be made with not much money and freaking... And I was told by Spirit actually the other day that you're going to have an epiphany, an idea. And this is probably it. I'm telling you, it would make bazillions. Okay, for those who chose the blue sky, now that I don't have to worry about looking for that one, change is good. Okay, here we go. The delicate fairy and her ferrets. Change is natural, good, and yes, it can hurt. Well, this is just basically going over again, reiterating the whole story that I talked about as I walked up the mountain. I thought about that. And I think about it a lot when I do this. When I start going on my walks and I start talking to you guys, if I end up doing a reading, it generally is, and even if I just do this at home, when I start talking to you guys and I've got a thought in my head that I need to speak to you about, it ends up coming out and being a card. So I think to myself, well, I could have just waited, right? I could have just freaking waited and told you, or let you see it in the card. But I'm telling it to you as I think about it because it's showing you that I am connected, right? I'm getting it. And then I'm like, okay, well, there it is. So this is just confirmation. So I haven't brought up numbers before, but today I will right now for this one. 2 is everything is happening exactly as it is meant to, with divine blessings for everything involved. Let go and have faith. The number 4 says there are angels all around you. You are completely guided, protected, and loved. There is no reason for fear. So, and 2 and 4 together is 6. Don't be so focused on everything that's happening down here in this material world. Raise your eyes to spirit. You will be guided through anything and everything. You will be helped. So when we transition from one place to another, like I spoke about, right, and going from one life into another life into another, and it's funny because I spoke about it before, how, you know, you'll get to a place and you think you got it figured out, and then spirit says, think again, we're going to shift now. We're constantly having to learn and then unlearn and then move up another level. And so, like I said, I reawakened, right? And then I went to Wisconsin, and I thought I was doing really great. And then I got there, and they're like, nope, now we're going to do this, switch. And then I got to Sedona, and I thought I was doing really, really good. And then it was like, nope, we're going to do this, switch. And it kept happening. It's going to keep happening. So just prepare for that. Just prepare for never getting it straight, and never fully understanding it, because you won't. My twin soul said when he found me that day, I'm a work in progress. We will always be a work in progress, as will our spiritual work. And it's going to be painful at times. It can be very, very hard to lose friends, to not be accepted by family, to feel like you're alone. But you're going to be taught how to be stronger. You're going to be taught how to care less about what other people think and step more into your own personal self and your own divinity, right? What was it? Namaste? The divine in me bows to the divine in you. You will be brought to soul family who understands. Yes, there is sadness. You may have family that walks away from you. I did, right? We're changing, we're altering. But you're going to be guided through it. You're going to be shown how to use your magical gifts. You're going to have someone that's going to be a companion to you. Like when I had all this happening to me in Sedona, right? They brought me my soulmate John, my friend John. He was there for a time. He wasn't supposed to stay. He was just supposed to be there for a time, just like Joseph was supposed to be there for a time. My twin soul came to reconnect and say, hey, I'm with you. I'm here, right? He taught me how to channel. My twin taught me how to channel. So I know how to connect with him energetically, and then he's gone. But he was a bridge. He's there. He's always there. I can always reach him. He can always reach me, until we feel that we can't. And we get caught up in that Alice in the Pool of Tears, and we start feeling like, why can't I hear you? Why can't I see you? Well, because you're saying that, because you're believing that. So you're going to be taught, right? And as you change, you're going to be guided through when you feel vulnerable, when you feel sad and lonely, and when you do get to the place where you're tired and feeling defeated, because you will get tired and you will feel sad. I was feeling like that today. I came out here. This is what it does it for me. This is what does it for me. I need to be out here. It lifts my vibration. It heals me when I'm feeling sad and lonely. I am sad and lonely. I don't have people around me to hang out with. I don't. And in all reality, if there were other people that were not spiritual people that asked me to go do things, I'm not really interested in doing what they do. I don't really care to hear about the gossip. I don't really care about the television shows. I don't care about that. It's not interesting to me. And, you know, they may not really care about what I'm interested in. I found that a lot. I did try to blend it. I did try to be with the people from my past, right? And when I would see things and I would speak about them, they would be just like, they wouldn't hear me. They're just like, okay, can you stop? Can you not talk about that? That's what my ex would say to me. Can you like not talk about that when you're with me? And it's like, okay, can I ask you just to not breathe? Because this is breathing to me, right? So maybe it's best if we just don't hang out. And then he's like, okay, I didn't mean that. You don't have to be mean. And I'm like, I'm not being mean, but I'm telling you, it's like my old boss saying to me, you know, I'd love for you to work here. The clients love you and you do amazing work, but I don't want you to talk about your spiritual beliefs. Why? Everyone else is talking about their religion. Why can't I talk about it? Because it scares people. No, it doesn't scare people. It scares you, right? So then it's best for me not to be there. So that kind of shit goes on, right? It's difficult. And so then you may find yourself losing a job. You may be fired. Like what's happening right now, people are being, sent out of their jobs, which is what happened to me, and you don't know why. I did a really good job there. I helped things happen, right? I made things work. Yeah, so did I. I had a huge clientele. I built up that company. The energy was amazing because of me. And now I'm not working there? Why is that? Because Spirit doesn't want you to work there, because it's not in your highest good. You need to move on now. This is now about your spiritual work. Something else is coming for you. But we want to hold on. We want to hold on because it's familiar and it scares us and we don't see what's coming around the corner. Remember, we were just told there's going to be a twist in our tail that we weren't expecting. Great, right? Well, the message is one cycle is ended, period. It's ended. And right now, you got to be curious and you got to be courageous. You can't be holding yourself back with limited self-beliefs. You can't be questioning the truths that you understand. You are going through an initiation of sorts. You are being basically initiated into the spiritual club, right? You belong to the fraternity of light workers. And to whom much is given, much is expected. You have been given many gifts and you're going to be shown how to use them, but there's a lot expected of you. You're not allowed to leave your box of gifts on the shelves unopened. You need to step out of your comfort zone, go out into the unfamiliar, because it's about expansion, it's about growing, it's about ascending. So there's going to be either a new friend or an advisor or a mentor or some kind of information that comes along that's going to give you that shot in the arm that you need. It's like your vitamin B12 shot that gives you the extra energy to move forward. It's going to empower you. So you got to start focusing in the right way. You got to shift your focus about what you're afraid of and focus on what it is that you want to become, what it is that you want to do. Change is going to hurt, but it's not going to kill you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it's not easy, and I'm not going to pretend that it is. I'm not going to make it be, this story of, oh, you wake up and everything's wonderful and blissful, and then you meet your soul family and your tribe and your twin soul and you connect. No. There's so much to learn and there's so many challenges, and we always think we're ready. And I said in a post today, God, I'm ready. I'm ready. Where are you? I'm ready. But when you look back, there's so much that has changed in the last 7 years for me about myself. And no doubt in my twin's life, right? That this person that I was spiritually connected to, energetically, chemically connected to, absolutely, lifetime's worth. There was a lot about that person that I don't know. There's a lot about living with a person like me that he wouldn't know, right? You only saw it's kind of like you see a really good-looking person and then you get to know them and they're just like a asshole, right? And I'm not saying that that's what he is or what I am. I'm just saying that's just, I felt the energy, it felt great, but when I got to know you, no. So what's happening is all this time that goes by, we're being conditioned. So everything that you're going through and experience is happening to you to prepare you for what you have asked for. So I've asked to be aligned and to reconnect with my twin soul. If I had reconnected with my twin soul 6 or 7 years ago, it would have blown apart. We wouldn't have been together. Wouldn't have lasted. I'm not the person I was then. If I was the person I was then, it would never have worked because I would have had zero patience at all. I wouldn't have understood. I wouldn't have had the compassion because I've now I've been shown things. So with you in your life, you may feel that you're ready for this or ready for that, but everything that you're going through is literally happening because you have asked for something and Spirit is trying to help you. They're not doing it to punish you. They're doing it to help you. And I hope it's not too much longer because, I could stay single for 100 years and get better and better and stronger, but you don't have to do that. We can grow a little bit together too. So that's it for our reading. I hope it was helpful for you guys. I'm gonna go home. I don't think I've eaten lunch, and I don't know what time it is. I'll let you guys see our beautiful surroundings. again. Which way shall I? This was a really nice hike up the hill. I liked this. We'll leave our bunny hill. Sorry that you were somebody's dinner bunny. So I wonder what scared rabbit I shredded, because clearly I just did that, right? Because I am the Red Hawk, and she showed up when I showed up. So maybe it was that first scared bunny that I shredded. Remember the one that was afraid to come out and be his true spiritual self? Maybe I just shredded him. God, I'm gonna jump. Okay. It doesn't look that tall, but it is. It's as tall as me. So that was a jar. A jarring jump. I was looking at something while I was up here. I think it was the blue flowers, the dusting of blue flowers. I was hearing a specific bird. And I was wondering if we were going to see it. I love climbing on rocks. It's my favorite thing to do. Always has been since I was a little girl. I get really excited climbing on rocks. So I think I have to climb back over and go that way down. Oak trees. The mighty oak. You know, even the mighty oak at first was a very small little acorn. You too can succeed and do everything that Spirit says that you can, even if you're feeling like you can't. I think of the acorn man too, right? The acorn man is the divine masculine, the stag. And at first he was just a little acorn, but he's now grown into a mighty oak, strong. Oh, I love this. I just want to get a little closer to the yellow flowers. I'll let you guys go, and I'm going to hoof it down the hill. I'll talk to you soon. I love you. Bye.